Welcome to this Unity package in which we're going to explain how the Tangram game package works. Um, let's hit play and we'll show you how things are going to behave. So when you hit play at the beginning, the Tangram is created. As you can see, there is an animation that is using the physics, and then each time you want to move one of the pieces, you have also the option to display the moving cursors. Okay, so whenever you drag an object, you're able to move it around the screen, and it will also interact with the other pieces because they are all rigid bodies. Okay, so you can see that this is a difficulty. This is something that is added to the game. If you press and hold for a while on a piece, you will be able to rotate it, as you can see. Okay, so I'm going to build this for you so you can see how it works. And another thing, whenever you are finishing building the figure, you will be able to verify if it's well built. So you have here an option that is going to show, in this case, that the figure is not properly built because there are some pieces missing. Okay, so let's try to finish it really fast using this. As you can see, the main hard part of the games is to set all the pieces correctly, because they are all going to interact one with the other and are going to impact. So yeah, you can see that this is a cool thing. It's a cool feature of the game. So okay, I have two pieces missing. I'm going to add the last one. Okay, and the tail of the cat. There's going to be the parallelogram like that. Okay, so as you can see, as the figure has been built properly and I click the button verify, you will see how the the text here becomes green. Okay, if I move a piece and I hit again, you will see that the result is not correct. So, and you can see that there is a small tolerance, okay, that allows you to build a piece, a figure, sorry, without having to be exactly the same one. Okay, you can have a small rotation here, for example, and the manager is going to be able to say that the figure is correct. Another important thing is that if I take this triangle and the other triangle and I rotate them and I change their position, okay, you can see that this is not a correct result, but if I change the position, it's going to be okay. So in fact, the script is going to manage the fact that we are using, as you can see, two different small triangles. It happens as well with the big ones. So if I'm sorry about this. If I get the big ones, and if I rotate them and I put them into the opposite position, it should work as well. So the script is going to manage that. That is a very important point. Okay, so well, it's red because it's not perfectly set. I'm going to try to put it better. As you can see, the rotation of the triangle is making things worse, but I think now it's better, and now it's green. Okay, so in fact You can see how changing one triangle and the other is not going to mess up your gameplay. Okay, so let me just show you how things work. First of all, we have a main camera that has a dragging script and a physics raycaster. So the physics raycaster is used to interact with the different pieces of the tangram, and the drag screen with the speed factor here is going to allow you to move by dragging on the screen, as you can see. Okay, so this is used for Android devices especially. Okay, and the raycaster, what does is it makes us able to interact with the pieces. Okay, then we have a main menu in which we have two buttons that are spawn and quit. Whenever we hit quit, we'll be able to quit a replication. If we hit spawn, you see how the tangram is going to be created again. Okay, so this is made because this could happen if you are at the end of the table. Maybe you are playing with one of your pieces and the piece is going to fall off the table, so you need to spawn again your tangram, or maybe you want to restart it, or maybe I don't know. Okay, I think it's a cool feature to have in your game, to be able to spawn your tangram again. Okay, then you have the directional light, the table that is going to be the surface where the things are it, and then inside figures you have the cat, and you have other figures that I'm going to explain how to build. And a figure is just a tangram that is composed by rotations and translations of the different pieces in order to have, in this case, a cat. Okay, so in fact it's just a modification that you do in the editor mode of the pieces, as you can see. Okay, so apart from that, you have an inside canvas that has a text where you can change the name. For example, if that is, if you want to change this by cat small, you can do it easily. In this case, we're going to say that is one cat. It's the first piece you're going to use in your tangram. And then you have the submission and the question buttons. The submit button is the one that is going to check if the figure is properly built, and is going to change the color of the text. And the question is going to show you how the tangram is built in order to give you the answer of it. Okay, so I will show you that in a moment, how that works. And finally, we have the tangram. The tangram is a group of pieces, and each of it has the same structure. It has a mesh collider with convex configuration, a rigid body with a really high drag that is going to allow to move the piece correctly into the table. And then you have the piece movement script, okay, that you have the threshold time to rotate. This variable here is used with the other, and then you have some booleans here that are going to give some information about the state of the script. Then the event trigger has different calls. You have the drag one that is going to be focused on moving and rotating. Okay, so whenever we drag this function here, move piece is called. And whenever we initialize the potential drag, okay, that is like waiting for that, you can see that it's creating the rotation of the piece of the object. Okay, and finally we have the end drag. So when we are not dragging anything, the effects are cleared, so you can see here the clear effects. So that's all regarding the Tangram. Finally, we have the line renderer. The line renderer is just this line here that you can see that appears when rotating the piece. Okay, let's see the help button here. When clicked, you can see how the Tangram is going to be changed regarding the materials of each of the pieces. Okay, and whenever you hit it again, it's going to be set to black, the default unlit color, which gives you that impression of a shadow. Okay, so this is achieved by a script that is below the figure script, in which we have set all the materials, and inside the script what we are doing is for each of the um, children inside the figure, we're going to set the proper material. Okay, so this is all regarding um, how the basic package works. Let's see a little bit of the script if you want, the part of the Tangram and the figure. So for the piece movement, as I said, we have the move piece, and the move piece has a rotate boolean that it's going to be set in function of the time we're pressing the piece, and if we are moving the object, these actions are going to be performed, and if we are rotating the object, these actions are going to be performed. Okay, and regarding the figure, an important thing that I have commented here, we have small triangles and two big triangles. We need to the distance between the objects, but using pairs of those triangles configuration. So as you can see here inside of this loop, what we have to do is we have the children 1, 3, and 4, that is the parallelogram, the square, and the medium-sized triangle, which have a special code. And then for the big triangles and for the small triangles, we have another special code, in which what we are doing is comparing the distances, okay, between the, I'm going to explain that in the image. We're comparing the distances between this object and this object here. Okay, so if I put the color, what I'm doing is comparing how close is my object to the solution. Okay, and we are storing that information, and then we're calculating the mean for all the objects, and that gives us the a result that is called discrepancy, that you can see here, and whenever we hit the verify button, the discrepancy is obtained, and it can be also modified by this slider if you want it to be more precise or not. Okay, so as you can see, the discrepancy now it's 4 because the pieces are really bad placed. But if I take this one here and I place it next to the final positions, okay, I'm going to do it really fast. You can see how clicking the discrepancy is going to be really low. Okay, and if I take my pieces into almost the proper positions and I hit play, you can see how the discrepancy is becoming very low. But you will need to have the object properly built in order to obtain this discrepancy we have established, that it's really representative of how the gaming is going to work well. Okay, so what happens if you want to build another figure instead of the cat? You want to build something different. So let's do this. Let's make this plane a little bit bigger. The plane is the table, so let's make it bigger. And if you want to just add another figure, go to the prefabs, and then you get this figure prefab, and you add it into your figures. Okay, so it should work. I don't know what, okay, So this will be the base we're going to use in order to create a new figure that you can use in the game. Okay, so try to place it as I'm doing. Okay, and then check also if you do apply, this should work. Okay, because we had a problem with the material. Okay, now it's working. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a dog. So go ahead to the text and say, here you can say to and dog. Okay, or better yet, dog. I think I'm messing up my figure because I want to edit the figure 2. Yes, figure 2, sorry. And as I said before, we say 02 dog. Now it's working. So all the script is going to be prepared for you to work by doing this. The only thing is we have to adapt the pieces in order to make things work. Okay, so to make this easy, let's go ahead and put a top view like this, and whenever we are here, I suggest going to materials, to the Tangram standard, and then select standard, so you will be able to see all the pieces of this Tangram. Okay, and now what we're going to do is modify the position in order to obtain a dog, this thing here. Okay, so let's do it step by step. I'm going to make my screen smaller if I can. Okay, let's do it like this. Let's roll. Okay, so you can see that we have to move the square a little. Okay, so we move it like this, and then we have to turn the triangles also, and turn it like this to minus 90 degrees. Okay, and then move it and put it there. Okay, then we need to take the big triangle or the medium triangle that's here, and we have to put it here to 0 degrees. Okay, and this is going to be this part of the chest of the dog. Okay, this next thing is to get a big triangle, rotate it again into 0 degrees. Okay, and put it on top of the other, trying to make it fit. The last one will be this part here, this triangle here, that's going to be the butt of the dog. Okay, finally we have these two pieces, 90 degrees, that is going to be placed here, and the parallelogram, which is going to be placed at 0, 45. I don't know. Let's rotate it into the position. Minus 45. Okay, so now we have built, using this example, the shape of the dog. So we have two figures in our game. So what we're going to do now is to check if everything goes well, that it should go. So first of all, go to the standard Tangram material and set it again to unlight color, and you will see how we have the shadow. Okay, now let's play our game, and what you're going to see is that we have two figures. We're able to move in the screen from one figure to other by dragging, okay, on the screen, as you can see. And if we don't want to use the tangram in that position because it's really far from this dog thing, okay, let's spawn a tangram next to the dog. Let's do it here better, and let's start building stuff. So as we saw in the net, we have this piece that is going here. We have this other big triangle that is going on top also here, down here. Let's see if I can adjust it. Okay, then we have the medium-sized triangle that is going to be the chest of the dog. Okay, and then we have the head going to be placed there. Then we have a small triangle that's going to be the ears. Another small triangle that is going to be the leg. Okay, more or less. And then we have the front legs of the dog that are going to be placed here. Well, I have tried to do it as best as I can, you know. And let's see. Okay, and turns green. Okay, and if you go to the cat, it will turn. I'm sorry, I touched the question mark. It's going to turn red because we are building this one here and not the other one. If you take this one off the position, it will get red again. So you can see how it's quite easy to build your own game based on these ideas of using these figures, of modifying the position of the triangles. And as you can see, if I hit the button question, the Tangram is going to build from scratch and is going to show you how things should be. Okay, so thanks for watching this tutorial. Let me say that we're a group of students passionate by video games, and we're trying to share our ideas with you, with the world. Please consider downloading our package, because we believe that it's quite useful for developers. And if you are not wanting to build a Tangram game but another game in which you have to move pieces, you are also able to reutilize or reuse, sorry, the scripts we made. So thanks for watching.